Hey Villa fam, welcome back to season 3 of Honest Conversations with Two Village Girls. I'm Serena,
I'm Angie.
and this season we are focusing on all of the common questions we've been asked about specific child behaviors. This week we are answering the question, how can I reduce fear and anxiety in my child? Let's first start by talking about why children experience fear and anxiety to begin with. What's going on in their little minds that's causing these reactions?
Yes. So I wanted to say that anxiety can lead to fear and worry in children. So that can be a reason why your child is afraid a lot or is always worrying about anything. They can be worrying about like what's happening next or like going to school or anything of that nature.
That's true. Another reason children might be showing those symptoms is because it's inherited. So we talk a lot about how kids are great imitators. If they see a lot of high anxiety or high stress in their environment, they start to pick up on that in their personalities.
Yeah,
And this can be things they inherit from their parents or from grandparents or just anyone living in the household, really.
So things that can like happen like in like their daily life or like just in their life in general that can cause like fear or just worrying or anxiety all the time is they probably lost someone close, maybe like a family member. Death can cause anxiety in adults, so of course it can cause anxiety in children as well.
Absolutely. Also, seeing abuse or violence or being abused or mistreated can start to cause fear and anxiety. So that's how, as a teacher, we see a lot of anxiety when it comes to meals. Children that don't typically have meals at home get very anxious if their meals are late during lunch or when they're going through the lunch line because they might get declined. If they have to pay for lunch, they might not have the funds to pay for lunch. We tend to see that kind of anxiety in a school setting a lot, which is unfortunate. I mean, imagine being young and having to worry about where your next meal is coming from.
It's sad, but it's real.
We also see, especially in a school setting, we also see a lot of fear of failure, and that comes from the teaching perspective, and then going home with the fear of showing report cards to family members, which is typical, especially in the academic department, because it's them versus themselves, and it's they get compared to the other students in the school. This student received a high grade, students in the mid range. There's constant testing and where do you fit in.
And they just want to make mom and dad proud sometimes. So
Absolutely.
if they do bad, they might just feel bad and just be like worried to show their mom or their dad. But at the end of the day, as a parent or anybody working with the child, you have to be like encouraging and like helpful and let them know that you can mess up, you can make mistakes. Like failure isn't the rest of your life because you can try again and succeed with it. So you just have to be a motivator, motivate them to keep on trying and not give up and stuff like that.
I like that you said that failure isn't the end of the world, because failure is part of how we learn to succeed. We can't just start at the top. We have to get there, and we have to trial and error and figure out what path works best for us to get us where we want to be. There are many ways to get to the end goal.
Absolutely.
And we don't all have the same direction. We go in different directions to end up there.
In a different time, like I know we compare
Mm-hmm.
ourselves a lot because we not well. I guess I'm talking more of adult perspective, but we compare ourselves a lot when we try to say like this person is here, I should be here too. Like that. That's a lot of anxiety too.
Yeah. I mean, kids can do that too. My friend is doing this. I want to do this like my friend. But then if something happens and the friend ends up succeeding and I don't, it's oh, well, now I'm comparing myself to my friend. What did I do wrong? When in reality, it could just be this didn't work for you. Try this different way. And you get to the same end result.
That's true.
Do you want to talk about specific fears and phobias that kids have?
Yeah, so I just put like different like phobias that can cause fear in children. Like some children are scared of the dark. Some children are scared of like big animals or insects like spiders and snakes and things like that. Children are often scared of like loud noises, like firecrackers going off and stuff like that. Those are normal things that children at that young age are experiencing. Like during that time, you just have to be like supportive and like comforting and making sure that you let them know that everything is okay and making sure to like calm them down when they are afraid.
Absolutely. And then like the parts where it's a combination of the two. Imagine walking at night in the dark and somebody with their dog walks by and their dog makes a barking sound. So now they're in the dark, see a big animal that makes a loud sound. Having to explain to them like, this is okay. This is a natural thing. Get them comfortable. So let's roll right in. What are things we can do to help ease those fears and anxieties?
One way you can help a child to reduce their fear is to make them feel safe. When kids feel safe, they are less worried. Also, never belittle the fear, meaning like never put down the fear or never like use the fear against them to help them like get over that fear. That's not how you want to deal with that situation.
Absolutely. Like those dogs aren't scary. Look at you being a big like baby about it and name calling and like picking fun at them. It doesn't stop the fear. It just makes them like more embarrassed about the fear.
Yeah. Because that fear is very much real. Even if it's not your fear, you have to know that their fear to them is very, very much real to them, and you have to make sure that you let them know that you understand them and where they're coming from.
Absolutely. We can help kids talk about their feelings, about their fears and their anxieties by simply listening to them. Like we were just saying, acknowledging their feelings, acknowledging their fears as real, even if it's not something that we share in common, and let them know that regardless of what they're afraid of or what their anxieties, we'll still love and accept them and keep them comfortable. We can do that in a school setting as well, making sure that if we know this child is afraid of the dark at nap time, we'll make sure that we put them in a place that's closer to the light without like publicly shaming them or announcing to the class like, oh, so and such has to be here because of this. Like giving them that safe space to know that they're heard and respected and accepted.
Yeah.
And help them build inner strength when having this relationship, having that bond with the teacher or the parent or guardian, by showing them that support and by defending them against anyone that disagrees with their fears or isn't respectful to who they are as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always say to encourage a child. So that's like another big thing that you can do is encourage a child, encourage them. Don't ever let them give up. If they love to do something, make sure you push them to do that thing. Even if they're afraid to do things, push them to do those things too. Don't just let them be afraid. Let them experience those things. Let them be around those things so that they can get over those fears. Oh, another thing I like was to like put them on a routine, like keep them on like a little schedule so that they know what's happening next, like what's to come, and they know what to expect. So they shouldn't have to worry all the time if they are on a schedule.
Absolutely. I love those schedules, especially the younger the child is, like those routines and schedules.
Yeah.
Ease their minds a lot. Be patient with them. Everything takes time, and it's good to have supportive, patient people surround them, which goes along with basically the support system we've been trying to build. Kids need a village too.
Absolutely.
They need someone they can fall back on and let them know, hey, I'm struggling with this right now. Especially in, like we were talking about, the school setting with the fear of failure.
Yeah.
That fear of failure, and then trying to like stress over like studying hard and doing this and that to get to that point. It all happens at different times. So showing them that it's okay to take your time is important, especially at a younger age, because not everything happens at the drop of a dime.
Right. That's true.
And educate yourself.
Yeah. So educating yourself is very important because there are several different types of anxiety disorders. You can learn about the signs to so that you can see if your child is going through it, then you already know the signs and you can be able to get them help if they need that help. So you also have to be willing to get help. I know a lot of parents be, scared to reach out to get help, but help is out there from therapists. Definitely a stigma, get help, especially in, Black families. But being willing to get help if your child needs it, because if your child needs it at a young age and you ignore it, it's just going to continue on into their adulthood. So get help if they need it.
Absolutely. And one last thing is actually, this thing is something I learned from a TV show. It's an acronym called HALT, HALT, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. And these are common stressors that induce anxiety. But what makes them so common is that these are common things that we are in control of in our daily lives. We are in control of whether we eat or not. If we realize that we're angry, or maybe we didn't realize that we were angry, just acknowledging like, okay, what are my feelings? Where is my mental state at? Am I angry? Am I lonely? And if you're tired, maybe just taking a quick rest. These are common things. And this has helped me through like some of my anxiety, is just taking a step back with the halt and like, okay, I'm not hungry today or right now. I'm not angry. I'm not feeling lonely, but you know what? I think I am feeling a little tired. And then I'll relax and rest for a little bit and get up perfectly fine a few minutes later. So that's something small that I didn't need like a doctor diagnosis to hear. So if that helps any of you in the village, go for it. Just keep that in mind as you're going through your daily life.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just be encouraging to your child. Help them through their fears and anxiety. Yeah, and everything takes time, so be patient.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning in to our final episode of season 3 with Two Village Girls. I'm Angie.
And I'm Serena.
And please subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for season 4. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them down below. Also, go ahead and hit that bell to get notified when new videos drop. Please follow us on all our social medias, which will be listed in the description box below. As always, we want to send you out with some positive vibes to get you through the rest of your week. This week's inspirational quote is by C. Joybell, who says, "Don't be afraid of your fears. They're not there to scare you. They're there to let you know that something is worth it." Thanks, little fam. Bye.
Bye.